ambulance service, is the patient breathing? In an emergency situation, every minute counts. And with cardiac arrest, for every minute that CPR isn't performed, your chances of survival decrease by 10%. If he's not already, lay him onto his back on the floor. Have you done that?
Okay.
Okay, kneel by his side and put one hand flat in the centre of his chest. Put the other hand on top and lock your fingers together. And then keeping your arms straight, push down hard and fast. Don't be afraid to push too hard. Push about 2 times a second. Push, push, say push out loud. Push, 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 push. Really good. Push, 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 push. Yeah? Keep going, you're doing really well.
Yeah, he's coughing now.
He's coughing?
Is he pushing you off?
Is he pushing you off?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
All right.
Okay.
Bear with me.
Bear with me.
Are you up, buddy? You all right?
Put a note in the system.
No, he's moving now. No.
What do I
Is
say?
he waking up?
Sorry?
Is he waking up?
No.
Put it in your note.
This call handler's just saved a life.
Thank you so much. You did brilliantly. Helped me right out.
But she's also an undercover reporter working for Dispatches. She's discovering dangerous delays.
She's gone into shock. Oh, I need someone here now. I need an ambulance.
Response time is estimated to be 3 hours and 56 minutes. That's
Oh my God.
We've normalised a level of performance that would have been unheard of before.
Revealing how people are let down when they need help the most.
I phoned the police and they're telling me to phone you.
Get somebody here.
I'm 85. What do you expect me to be able to do?
I just look at our ambulance service with complete mistrust.
And uncovering the difference between what callers are told and what's really going on.
We're telling them that an ambulance is being arranged, but they're not actually getting an ambulance.
Take care, bye-bye. There are some amazing parts of being a call handler, but equally you're also there when things don't go right and when people are rightfully upset and scared because of that.
This is the truth about what happens when you dial 999. We all like to believe that if you're having a medical emergency, the NHS will come to the rescue. But our reporter is discovering that's not always the case.
Describe to me what happened.
I went to come down the stairs and I went down the lot from top to bottom.
I took a call from an 85-year-old woman with a suspected broken arm. The computer system call handlers use is called NHS Pathways. At first, it recommends she gets herself to hospital. So someone else would need to drive you and you would need to take any
I've not got a car and I can't get there.
Okay.
I need an ambulance. I'm sorry, but I'm 85. What do you expect me to be able to do?
Call handlers aren't medically trained and I can't overrule the computer's instructions. So I have to refer her to a clinician who'll decide if she qualifies for an ambulance.
Get somebody here.
I need a clinician to call you back to be able to assess the problem because we need to make sure that we're getting exactly the right help for you.
An ambulance is the right help to get me to hospital, to get an X-ray, so that if it's broken, they need to put it in plastered, won't they? I mean, you don't have to be a clinician to work that one out, surely.
It's because you've got the coldness in your arm and as well as the injury.
Yes, but it still boils down to the same thing, doesn't it? It needs attention, quickly.
Yeah, a clinician will call you back as soon as one is available.
How bad does it have to be before you do it?
How bad does it have to be? She's in her 80s. She's got no way to get to hospital. And she's in immense pain and she's probably broken her arm, maybe her shoulder. I'm going to get that transferred over now. Okay. Take care, bye-bye. As far as Pathways was concerned, she was to refer herself to a treatment centre.
And I just find it really upsetting. Such a wet wipe.
The simple fact that we don't have the number of doctors and nurses we would need to deliver the model of care we want. Increasingly, the sickest patients are being prioritised. But what we're seeing is that over time you have to be sicker and sicker to get into that top bracket.
The caller did eventually get an ambulance, but we discovered that at times of extreme pressure, a no-send policy is triggered, meaning callers will be told that although they need an ambulance, they won't be getting one.
We went into no-send once during my time undercover on a summer's evening. 139 people are waiting for a callback. 5 hours for a C2, a 68-year-old with trauma to the head. 8 hours and 40 minutes for a 90-year-old who's in her head. It's just hundreds of calls waiting for callbacks.
Call handlers are told not to reveal the no-send policy in case this upsets patients. A supervisor explains what to say instead.
They ask them to make their own way instead of wait for an ambulance because we're so busy.
So they're telling people to make their own way?
We're not saying that we're not giving them one. We're saying to them, we're so busy, you are going to be waiting hours.
What we're seeing happening in real time is a redrawing of what is an emergency. We're absolutely at a moment of dire performance for healthcare services, emergency services in this country.
Nationally, the ambulance service is busier than ever before. Here at the South East Coast Ambulance Service, nearly 1 million 999 calls come in a year. But it's been struggling, and the health watchdog says it needs improvement. To find out why, reporter Hebe Johnson is working undercover for 8 weeks as a 999 call handler. The first voice you hear in an emergency.
When people are calling 999, they can be quite distressed, upset, scared. It's relentless, and I'm already seeing what massive pressure the service is under. The delays, the missed targets, the patients put at risk. It's not just people at the bottom of the priority pile who struggle to get an ambulance. Those with life-threatening conditions do too. Because I'm new to the job, an experienced call handler is watching over me. Is the patient conscious?
He's unresponsive completely.
I took one call from a mother whose son had type 1 diabetes. He was unconscious, he was in a diabetic coma.
This is the third time now that I've rung up today within the last 40 minutes.
It's urgent. Without swift treatment, it could be fatal. He could suffer brain damage or die.
Unconscious adult.
So he's not conscious, he's not responding to you?
No, he's not responding to me at all.
Okay.
The computer flags a Category 2 emergency, the same level as a heart attack. The national NHS target for this is an ambulance on the scene in 18 minutes. But this caller's already waited double that.
If you can, just keep supporting his head until help arrives or until someone can take over.
The NHS as a whole has not hit the 18-minute target for 5 years. So it's settled on a temporary target of 30 minutes instead.
So we are coming as quickly as we can. I can't imagine if that was my son in that situation, just watching them get worse and worse. There was nothing I could really say apart from I'm sorry, and they'll be with you as soon as they can. Oh, if you have any other concerns, just call us back on 999, okay?
The ambulance arrived soon after that call, but well outside any target time.
That's a bit scary.
Collapsed.
Helen Morgan was elected to Parliament after campaigning to speed up ambulance response times in Shropshire.
I don't have words for that. That's really shocking. It's going to feel like a lifetime for that mother. I feel desperately sorry for her. The current wait times are well beyond the target, and that's not acceptable.
In the control room, a display warns when pressure mounts. Delays often build because ambulances are stuck outside crowded A&Es, unable to hand over patients.
Surge level 3 is quite a lot of pressure on the service and it can compromise patient care, and surge level 4 is the maximum level of pressure on the service. During my time undercover, we were mostly at levels 3 and 4, especially at night. Oh God, 2 hour 13 C2 waiting Hastings is very long. 2 hours for a C2, it's meant to be 18 minutes.
He's struggling. He's got a longer section and he's struggling to breathe. Do you think the emergency is going to be here soon, or do I have to emergency? Because he needs to be seen now.
The current estimated waiting time in the area is 1 hour and 34 minutes. That's not...
Oh my God, no! I'll take him now. I'll take him now. He can't breathe. We need the ambulance now.
And is he conscious?
No, he's just fallen down the stairs and bashed his head, and his head's bleeding.
We are extremely busy this evening, and we are experiencing delays of up to 2 hours and 11 minutes.
Well, he can't stay outside here for 2 hours. The ground is boiling and he's laying on the ground.
It's not just a problem for South East Coast. Using freedom of information requests, we've discovered that last year across England, almost 140,000 people were Category 2 emergencies, including suspected heart attacks and strokes, waited more than 2 hours for an ambulance. That's well outside the 18-minute target. I regularly saw over an hour, over 2 hours as the longest wait for Category 2 calls. I would just expect for a heart attack you'd call 999 and they'd be there. But no. So I heard you got some chest pain.
Yeah.
Yeah? Where else is the pain?
Yeah. It was in my right arm. It feels like it's going right across my back and my neck, and it's under my jaw.
A man called up with chest pain. It was likely he was having a heart attack or experiencing some kind of cardiac condition.
Yeah, it's really bad. I feel like someone's sitting on my chest.
Okay, an emergency ambulance is being arranged.
Right.
And was that your wife earlier? Will she stay with you until help arrives?
Yeah.
With a suspected heart attack, every moment it's left untreated raises the risk of damage to the heart or death.
Do you know roughly how long?
So the estimated waiting time in your area is 1 hour and 45 minutes, but that's just the longest that someone has waited.
Okay, I was just wondering if I should just try and get him there myself. I'm just...
That's up to you. That's the longest waiting time. Would we ever... So when someone says, oh, I might make my own way then, what's the line there?
Put it back on them, it's up to them.
So we're not allowed to say, like,
We're
it's
not saying you
advisable?
can't, but if they want to make their own way, that's absolutely fine.
But we're not allowed to advise, like,
No.
probably best for you to make your own way?
No.
The main thought is that if I was having a heart attack, I'd want to know what I'm meant to do. You call 999 and you sort of want clarity. You want to know what to do. You want someone to help you. It made me wonder, what would I do? What happened to that person? What were they meant to do?
We tracked Chris and Amy down to find out what happened after their 999 call.
So I heard you got some chest pain, is that right? Yeah? Where else is the pain?
Just started getting pains in the front of my chest. I was in the bathroom, and Amy must have got up.
I woke up and noticed he wasn't there. Found him in the bathroom in lots of pain.
And my arm was hurting, all up around my jaw, all up around the back of my head. And she said, I'm going to call you an ambulance then.
The ambulance is being arranged.
Okay, do you know roughly how long?
So the estimated waiting time in your area is 1 hour and 45 minutes, but that's just the longest that
I
someone...
was just panicked that if he was then to go into a cardiac arrest, like what would happen? Like what would we do?
I was just wondering if I should just try and get him there myself.
That is completely up to you.
What does up to you mean? You're leaving it in our hands, and we're not medical experts.
Chris and Amy waited. Eventually, an ambulance freed up and reached them in 25 minutes.
Even that was too long. The ambulance turned up as we was getting ready to leave.
Chris was rushed to hospital and later had a heart operation. He's still recovering.
He's talking to the doctor, and he said, no, you've done the right thing while waiting. The consequence of getting in the ambulance Whereas they took me straight to resus. They got the monitors on me straight away. When you're in a dilemma, like emergency situation, which it was, you don't know what the right choice is.
In 3 English regions, 1 in 10 Category 2 callers wait over an hour.
Just confirm you don't want the ambulance. So many calls of ambulances today for me. A third of the calls that I took tonight were from patients requesting to cancel the ambulance. People call up and then end up cancelling it because of the long waiting time. I just find it all really troubling.
Getting to hospital under your own steam, it's a workaround. That is not a solution. Paramedics in this country are highly trained to administer, at times, life-saving treatment at the scene. So that is fundamentally different to driving yourself to hospital. They know the best place to take you, but I wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that. A paramedic would.
In a system already at breaking point,
Just regarding a lady who's 91 who has fallen and has been on the floor for about 40 minutes, unable to get up.
what happens when you're considered the lowest priority?
This has been categorised as a C3 response. We aim to be with the patient within 11 hours and 40 minutes.
So we've just spoken to my mother-in-law. She's not putting sentences together. She's saying words wrong. Like she just said AKO instead of A&E.
Okay.
So I think she might be having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, every minute matters. Fast treatment can be the difference between life and death or disability. That's why strokes are Category 2 emergencies, with the target response of 18 minutes.
That emergency ambulance is being arranged and it is running on one of our high priority calls. But we are just very busy this evening and we are experiencing delays of up to 1 hour and 12 minutes.
If the wait is that long, the woman might miss out on vital treatment.
Hello. Hello, it's the ambulance service here.
And when she comes on the line, it's clear why she needs help.
And could you just confirm the address for me?
It's the £3.
That's okay.
I woke up a bit strange this morning. I'm not working properly. Sorry, not speaking properly. I can't keep my words straight.
Okay, understood.
I think the thing that shocked me most was when she said how busy we are. That was a real heart-stopping moment for me. It's absolutely critical that stroke is treated as a medical emergency because time is brain. For every minute, nearly 2 million brain cells in the brain are lost. And we know that the treatments are much more effective when they're delivered early.
In the case our reporter dealt with, we've established an ambulance reached the woman within 20 minutes, boosting the chances of successful treatment. But response times are a lottery. In the South East Coast region, 450 suspected stroke patients waited over 2 hours for an ambulance last year. And across England and Wales, Dispatches has uncovered 13,000 suspected stroke patients also waited that long, with potentially devastating results.
I met Susan in 2015. Such a lovely person. We just ended up seeing each other all of the time.
Last December, Rob discovered Susan on the floor and dialed 999.
My girlfriend's collapsed on the Susan. I think she had a stroke. She collapsed in the toilet. Her face is drooping on one side. Feet are slurred.
And I thought that was it. You know, help would be on its way.
When the ambulance didn't arrive, Rob called 999 twice more.
I need you to tell me exactly what's happened.
She's had a stroke. This is the third call I've had to make. I've reported all the details.
But it took 2 hours to reach them.
That was a long time. And I thought, she's going to die here in front of us. It was one of the most horrible things I've ever experienced in my life.
Nobody can be certain if earlier treatment would have helped. But the ambulance response meant Susan never stood a chance.
Can you lean to the left? There we go. Let's get you sorted. Get that one there. Susan's stroke has taken away our life.
I can't walk, and I can't use my left arm or hand.
Get Susan in position here. It's also affected Susan's memory, short-term and long-term. Right, are you ready?
Yes.
I think the cruelest thing is she can't read.
I used to go out and do stuff. It's very frustrating. Can't go after Rob Branagh. I can't make him a cup of tea, or I used to make his breakfast.
Puppet. Ready?
Yes.
Steady, stand. The earlier they intervened, the less brain damage Susan would have had.
South West Ambulance Service told us they offer their sincere apologies to Susan. They say the delay was unacceptable, but at the time, their service was under extreme pressure.
What happened to Susan could happen to anyone. I would like to think we could trust in our ambulance service, but I just look at them with complete mistrust.
I mean, it's not acceptable. The really sad thing is that Rob and Susan's quality of life is seriously impaired. Her outcome could have been so very, very different. We are seeing unacceptable delays in ambulance response times. And for those patients who miss out on the treatment window, it's heartbreaking.
Not every 999 call is life or death. About 1 in 5 are what the ambulance service terms Category 3s. Urgent calls, including falls, assaults, or mental health incidents, the target is to respond to most within 2 hours.
I fell last night and I can't get up.
Okay, and so you're on the floor right now?
Yes.
But many of these callers are in terrible pain and need urgent assessment.
I can see his ligament or his muscles or something actually moving within his leg.
So I just cut my leg on a piece of glass here and it's like really, really deep. It's got really bad. It really, really hurts.
You need to stay calm. I can't arrange this help unless you stay calm.
They often lose out because ambulances are diverted to more life-threatening emergencies.
We're not moving it any more than on her back because her foot is at a right angle to where it should be.
An emergency ambulance has been arranged. The response time is estimated to be 3 hours and 56 minutes.
Oh my God.
The NHS target is to reach most of these cases within 2 hours. Figures seen by dispatches show that at South East Coast, 1 in 10 take 4.5 hours, one of the worst figures in the country.
So it should be 2 hours, roughly. So we should get to that patient in 2 hours. But do we ever get to that patient in 2 hours? No.
During my 19 shifts undercover, there were always Cat 3s with massively long wait times.
And what's the reason for the call?
We're in the middle of the field. The boy fell down from the bicycle and I can see the bones under the skin that's sticking out.
The mother called on behalf of her teenage son, and she was by herself and scared. They'd been on a walk, he fell off his bike and broke either his collarbone or his shoulder. He was on the floor and couldn't move. So an emergency ambulance has been arranged and the response time is estimated to be 6 hours, where it might not be that long, but that's the longest that someone has had to wait in your area. The estimated waiting time was 6 hours, which, if right, would have them picked up by the ambulance at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Okay, and is there any way to know what it's going to be here before that? Because he is in pain. He's on the ground on his back. He can't move.
We're extremely busy at the moment.
I understand that, but we've got no way of getting out of here.
We don't know if the boy ever got an ambulance, and if so, how long it took. But we've discovered almost all Category 3 calls are sent to clinicians who will phone patients back to see if an ambulance is really necessary. Although the callers are told something different.
To offer further support, a clinician will try to call you back to do a further clinical assessment whilst you wait. I was taken through this validation process during my training.
Cat please, we're saying an ambulance response is arranged. However, from what we think, you'd benefit from further clinical assessments. So we'll get a clinician to call you back. It'll then go into a validation stack. The clinicians will review it and they might stand it down and they'll deal with that, which is why we never say an ambulance is on its way.
Well, if I was told that an ambulance is being arranged, I would immediately be thinking that an ambulance is either on its way to me already or being redirected to me. I wouldn't immediately be thinking people are still debating whether or not I need an ambulance in the first place.
We've discovered this process has been implemented across England. At South East Coast, clinicians are supposed to review these cases within 30 minutes.
These are patients that should be called back as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But sometimes we have them wait for hours, and all of them, they are like poorly. I've seen calls waiting for 7 hours, and it's a validation call.
If you send somebody to a triage and it's a very serious issue and you need an ambulance to come straight away, then that triage needs to happen quickly. If people are waiting hours and hours for the triage, then I would say that was ineffective.
South East Coast Ambulance Service told us they've made measurable progress over the last 3 years, resulting in Category 2 response times averaging 28 minutes, better than the national standard. They say there is more to do to reduce our waiting times further and now give clearer information. They apologise to any patient whose experience has fallen short of the standards we work hard to deliver. And no, prolonged delays can cause additional distress. The national mental health crisis is adding to the stress on the 999 system.
I've phoned the police and they're telling me to phone you.
And patients are falling between the cracks of the emergency services.
This man is in serious danger.
And what's the reason for the call?
Potential overdose, and she's currently slicing her wrist with a knife in front of me.
Of the roughly 400 calls I took, I was struck by how many related to mental health and how serious they were.
So at the moment, what are you most concerned about? Is it your mental health?
Yeah, I won't kill myself tomorrow. I took about 50 tablets.
Was that an attempt to end your life?
Yes.
Most mental health calls get a lower priority Category 3 response.
Oh God, longest wait, 11 hours. The longest C3 wait that I've seen has been like 11 and a half hours. Someone telling you that they want to end their life, hearing that over the phone and then knowing that they could be waiting hours and hours for an ambulance. It's a really hard part about the job.
She's got quite a robust plan involving taking an overdose.
Okay.
And I'm extremely concerned about her.
I took a call from a mental health worker who had spoken to someone with plans to end their life.
There really is some risk there.
Okay, yeah, understood. Like I said, an emergency ambulance has been arranged. It's being categorised as a C3 response, but in the meantime, I am going to try and call her to assess her directly.
And what's the main problem at the moment?
It's just my mental health, that's all.
And have things got so bad that you're thinking about ending your life?
Yes, definitely yes. Don't want to go through it again. I'm not going to go through that again. I'm just going to take my time and just end my life. I just don't want it anymore.
Do you feel like during the training, we only had 1 hour on mental health, and it totally failed to prepare me for the complexity of those calls? The computer told me to talk to her reassuringly, but I felt helpless. And I remember thinking, gosh, I'd like some training for this.
Until recently, the police might have helped with a welfare check. But we've discovered serious concerns about a new national policy intended to free up police resources to fight crime. The Right Care, Right Person scheme, introduced in 2023, means police now only respond when there is an immediate risk to life or of serious harm.
In theory, this policy is a positive thing because often the police are not the right people to respond when someone's in a mental health crisis. And a lot of the time it can be quite stigmatizing to have police arrive when you haven't committed a crime, you're just really struggling. However, you're seeing millions of hours of police time being removed, and the health services, voluntary services are being expected to step in, but with no additional resource.
Our reporter encountered situations where desperate callers couldn't get help from the police or the NHS, leaving them confused about where to turn to during a mental health crisis.
Ambulance service, is the patient breathing?
I don't know.
A woman concerned for her suicidal friend called in.
Okay. Could I take the address? His address?
I don't know. I phoned the police and they said you have to liaise with them.
We need an address to be able to send an ambulance.
I don't know the address. I've phoned the police and they're telling me to phone you.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
To liaise with them.
I'm afraid that
this man is in serious danger.
I understand. I know this is really difficult. I'm afraid that's not how it works. We can't send an ambulance unless we have an address.
They told me you would phone them because you have his address.
No, they'd have to. If you phoned them, they would have to phone us.
Oh God.
The police know that we can't arrange help without an address. If they're a suicide risk and they could kill themselves, then every minute wasted sending people back and forth between services is a minute that puts them more at risk.
We don't have the facilities to be able to find his address, whereas the police do.
It's just not good enough, is it? Being passed between the police and ambulance service is just not okay. It is absolutely critical that those partnerships are strong and that there's really clear communication. This call is evidence of serious shortcomings in the implementation of the Right Care, Right Person policy, because ultimately people in a mental health crisis, in an emergency situation, are falling through the gaps between services.
At least 6 coroners have issued reports flagging concerns about the policy and detailing how officers were not deployed to vulnerable people in urgent need.
Time and again, it wasn't clear whether a mental health call would be dealt with by the police officers or ambulance crews.
It's my wife. Seems like she's suffering some kind of, like maybe mental breakdown. She's talking to herself. She's saying some very nasty things to everybody. It's just scaring everybody. I'm concerned, for my kids and obviously my elderly parents.
Do you think that she could, harm or attack anyone?
Yes, I think she could.
My computer flagged the police should attend because of the potential risk of violence. With the help of my mentor, I give them a call.
Control room, hi, CCAM.
Hiya, can we request your attendance, please?
But the police control room say they won't send anyone.
I have clarified with my team leader that it is you to attend first of all, and then if your crew feel threatened when they arrive on scene, then they call us for attendance.
It's decided a clinician will call the man back, but for now, neither police nor ambulance are on their way. South East Coast Ambulance told us they're working to improve the experience of those we care for with mental health needs, and that they are working with partners on how these calls are prioritised and managed. The National Police Chiefs Council said, "The Right Care, Right Person policy makes sure our communities receive an appropriate response from the professionals who are best equipped to support them. Police will always respond where there is a real and immediate risk to the life of a person or risk of serious harm."
I'm sure there are incidents that the police still attend, but in the vast majority it feels as if ambulance workers have just been abandoned and left to deal with all incidents on their own. And we believe the whole policy needs to be reviewed.
Okay, how old is he?
He's 2.
In the control centre, staff work 12-hour shifts and the pace is unrelenting.
What's the reason for the call?
Bringing up brown poo and the pain is absolutely excruciating.
But across the country, when mistakes are made, families are left fighting for answers.
When it goes wrong, they do gaslight and they do lie.
We've seen up close the pressures on the ambulance service and how they put lives at risk. But when errors result in tragedy, the truth is sometimes hidden. Claire is grieving for her 35-year-old son, Martin.
Martin liked to potter in the garden. It was something that we had in common. Martin was born in 1987 and John in 1989. Martin was funny, very dry. He was just Martin, he was our firstborn.
In December 2022, John found his brother Martin unconscious in the house they shared.
John had training for CPR, so he started to do that and ring 999, spoke to the call handler. The call handler ended the call, so John was able to quickly ring me. From him ringing to me getting there was probably 25 minutes. There was no ambulance on site, so I ran into the house, and a sight that nobody wants to see. My younger son doing chest compressions on his brother, and obviously I said to John, "Where are they?" And he said, "I don't know." I thought, right, I've just got to ring them back. As a result of that second call, an ambulance was then dispatched. I think the first responder turned up about 12 minutes later. She didn't try any intervention and just sort of commented, "Oh no, he's deceased."
A post-mortem later revealed that Martin died of a condition called ketoacidosis, which caused a cardiac arrest.
You can't help but wonder if they'd have got there sooner, perhaps they could have done something for him.
Martin lived just half a mile from Wales's biggest hospital, but it took the ambulance 45 minutes to get to him.
We put a complaint in very, very quickly, and right from the beginning, they completely pull the shutters down, and it is entirely about protecting the trust. It's torturous.
The Welsh Ombudsman launched an investigation and concluded there had been a series of errors, including the first ambulance being stood down and that without them it was possible Martin might have survived. Claire discovered that something called Intelligent Routing Platform, or IRP, was in effect the week Martin died. It routed calls from overwhelmed 999 call handlers in England onto their Welsh counterparts.
There were days when there was something like 600 calls coming in, and that's in addition to our own nation's calls. The system was so overloaded, a critical incident had to be declared. I am quite convinced that it did have an impact.
The Ombudsman also criticised the Welsh Ambulance Service for withholding evidence.
Why shouldn't we know exactly what went on and why? Believe you me, when it goes wrong, they do gaslight and they do lie. They use your grief and your anxiety to get you to a point where they're hoping you'll give up. It's not a bit about the bereaved family. They really don't care.
The Welsh Ambulance Service says IRP had limited impact on their core handling ability, but acknowledges its failings and accepts the Ombudsman's findings. It takes its responsibilities to be open and honest very seriously, and recognises Claire feels let down, for which it is deeply sorry. There's concern about ambulance service cover-ups across the country. Paul Calvert, a former police detective, worked inside the North East Ambulance Service, with the job of giving information to coroners and families about sudden, unexplained deaths.
I first became suspicious of concerns with the Trust altering or concealing documents from coroners and families fairly early on. There was irregularities with paperwork or missing paperwork and items that should have been supplied with the coroner and hadn't been. I found that the Trust were altering and concealing documents in relation to patient deaths, and which had occurred due to potential mistakes that they'd made.
Paul turned whistleblower. Among the cover-ups he highlighted, and to which North East Ambulance Service has now admitted, the death of 17-year-old Quinn Milburn Beadle. The paramedic on the scene failed to perform life-saving treatment despite her still having a pulse. Another involved 62-year-old granddad Peter Coates, who died after his crucial oxygen machine lost power and the paramedics sent to help stopped for a long unscheduled break.
It's impossible to say how many deaths may have followed a similar pattern. One thing I can say with certainty is, 5-year period at the Trust underreported serious incidents when a certain level of harm or suspected harm occurs to a patient. That also means there wouldn't have been an investigation, so therefore no learning would have been taken from that patient's death. So then that death incident is likely to reoccur. It means the family can't obtain justice or answers for how their loved one came about the death. I'd still get contacted by families raising concerns about other trusts. This is an ongoing issue. In my opinion, it seems as though we live in a cover-up culture.
North East Ambulance Service told us it had given an unreserved apology to the families it failed and had addressed the flaws in its processes.
And I fundamentally believe that unless we get to the point where every part of the NHS is willing and able to be open about the errors that are sometimes inevitable, how can we have a system that's going to keep improving, that's going to learn?
I'm nearing the end of my 8 weeks working undercover as a 999 call handler.
It's a really privileged position to have. You are sometimes there for the beginning of someone's life or for the end of someone's life, but equally you're also there when things don't go right and when people are upset and scared because of that.
Sometimes it's the supposedly lower priority calls, when every moment counts but in a different way, that really affect you.
Go ahead with the reason for the call.
The hospice asked for an ambulance to pick my husband up at 10 o'clock this morning. They said it would be a maximum of 2 hours. It's now been nearly 5. He's dying and they've got a bed for him at hospice.
Okay, understood.
They'd arranged it as a 2-hour response, and his wife was calling up because she'd waited over 5.5 hours.
I can't give an ETA.
I could see that an ambulance hadn't even been allocated or assigned to this job, so I had no way of telling how much longer this woman and her husband were going to be waiting. All he needed was to go to the hospice, to be somewhere comfortable.
I don't have access to any exact ETAs, but I can see that it is still arranged and they will be with you as soon as a crew becomes available. And I will make a note of the fact that you've called back.
Thank you for finding out for me. That's really kind of you.
It just feels pretty basic. It feels like a matter of just dignity. Just get someone to a comfortable place where they can die.
She was so nice. She was like, thank you for looking out for me. Thanks so much for looking out for me. I was like, no, that's fine. I mean, I literally told you I don't know.
Dispatches has witnessed 999 under severe pressure, even before winter arrives.
We described it as a perma-crisis in the NHS. We're at risk, I think, of becoming desensitised to some of these awful stories because they're so common, and there needs to be a clear plan now to say, not again, not this winter. We need to end the crisis in emergency care and get a grip of what's happening throughout the health system.
The government has launched a 10-year plan to transform the NHS, warning it must reform or die. But the problems of the ambulance service are immediate.
Fundamentally, the 10-year plan is a vision of a very different healthcare service in the medium term. Problems we have with a long wait for an ambulance aren't going to be immediately solved by that 10-year plan. But unfortunately, I think part of the deal is recognising that we won't receive the same level of care we used to, that long waits are going to be a feature of the next few years, and there's probably just no way around that.
The Department for Health and Social Care told us it is turning things around. Ambulance response times are the fastest since the pandemic. Backed by £450 million, it is expanding urgent and emergency capacity to cut delays.
I think everyone in the ambulance service is doing their best. I just think they don't have enough to do the best job possible. I think one of the most shocking things for me is how unshocked everyone who works there is by the situation. People aren't surprised by the long waiting times. People aren't surprised by people becoming really upset and distressed on the phone. It's so normal now. People are just so used to it being like this.